Before I go back to the phone, and I will get to all of your calls, but we're going to try to get in as many as possible. Some of you are aware that yesterday the Democratic National Convention started. It was the beginning of it for this week. And according to Fox, President Biden delivered his highly anticipated address to the Democratic National Convention late Monday night and touched on subjects including strong criticism of former President Trump and the conflict between Israel and the Hamas terrorist organization in control of Gaza. I want you to hear this from Biden criticizing Trump and why he ran for president. Watch this.
When Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides." My God. That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized. Had to listen to the admonition of my dead son. I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran. Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost.
Amazing. How long he going to use that lie? Amazing, huh? He lost the race because he can't run. What the? So the lights are on, but nobody's home, it seems. It is so interesting to me now. This is from the Washington Post. And Biden must have spoken, I think I did hear this, I'm not sure. Allegedly, he spoke like late last night. Well, like midnight or something, or near midnight. The ones that are running the Democratic whole thing right now, Obama and all those guys, they had Biden on late last night, and they know Biden can't stay up past 9 p.m. What? No, they want to make sure no one heard him. Or if he slipped up, no one would see it. It's amazing how they're treating Biden. Human nature is evil, huh? And human nature want power. That's why people argue with one another. They want power. When you're married, when husband and wives are arguing, they're arguing for power. Human nature love power. When friends argue, it's for the power. Otherwise, why are you arguing? Just think about that. You're lying to tell yourself, well, I'm arguing because I want to prove something. You're arguing because you want power. And the Democrats want power and wealth. They want to maintain it. And if they have to get Biden out of the way by any means necessary, so be it. And that's how you are in your life. Whatever you want, the hell with whatever somebody else think or want. You wipe them out. Even your own children. Here's from the Washington Post where Biden says, protesters have a point. Watch this.
We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now.
I don't even know what he's saying.
To end the civilian suffering of the Palestinian people. And finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war.
Oh, Lord. Biden sound like, I don't know, but like he high as a kite.
Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides.
Oh, both sides are right. Are there nice people on both sides? Uh-huh. Are there nice people on both sides? Israel and Palestine. Are you saying that, Biden? Are there nice people on both sides? So if you're right about that there are nice people on Israel's side and there are nice people on Palestine, that's what the president was saying, Trump, when he said there were nice people on both sides. And there were nice people on both sides. And there were mean people on both sides. Amazing, huh? You don't know. Honestly, you just don't know it. I understand now. I understand that you don't know how lost you are, how in darkness you are. Only because you can't see and you don't want to see. Those who want to see, they're starting to see. And those who don't want to see, they're not seeing. The light is only going to present himself to those who want it. You got to welcome the light. So according to NBC, several protests are planning throughout this week in Chicago as political leaders descends on the city for the Democratic National Convention. Of all places, I said the same thing about the Republican Convention. They had in Milwaukee. Of all places to have a convention is Milwaukee. They're like talking about going into the hood. And even worse is Chicago. You're going to be afraid to go out and have lunch during the break of the convention. You got to try to have lunch right there in the building because if you go out, you most likely will get ambushed. You'll get robbed. I mentioned the Democratic conventions happening in Chicago right now, Chi-Town. And several protests, according to NBC, several protests are planned throughout this week in Chicago as political leaders descend on the city for the Democratic National Convention. The first of seven permitted protests for the week took place on Sunday. Though additional demonstrations are possible throughout the week. People love to demonstrate. Watch this from NBC.
While all eyes are on Chicago this week,
we are unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Protest groups want all ears on their demands for the Democratic Party.
We're here to set the tone.
Abortion rights groups kicked off a week full of protests Sunday night.
And we're here to say that business as usual will not stand, that our issues and our body autonomy is not a political issue that can be used to manipulate the ballot box.
Hundreds fighting for that same cause gathered downtown, and they're not the only ones who will protest this week.
270 organizations from across the U.S. have joined the coalition to march on the DNC. And tens of thousands will be out on the streets starting tomorrow.
The U.S. Palestinian Community Network spent months fighting the city for permits to protest within sight and sound of the DNC, with their first permitted event happening Monday morning. Aside from the USPCN and women's rights groups, others fighting against racism, policing, and homeless rights also have plans.
We demonstrated against the Republicans, and we came here to demonstrate against the Democrats.
Earlier this week, Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling said his officers are prepared. We had a first look of it downtown Sunday night with officers lining the perimeter.
And I have no doubt that when this is all said and done, those officers will make this a successful event.
Amazing. So the protesters at the Democratic National Convention went to a communist city, socialist city, to hold their convention. Okay. What was the lady saying? Something. What was she saying, Nick?
Which lady?
That first woman.
Jex Blackmore.
We are unstoppable. There's another new world outside of this.
Yeah. What that chant, the first chant. I forgot what the chant said.
We are unstoppable. There's a whole new world outside of this. Something dumb like that. How you know her name?
No, I was thinking about her name was there was a name of a gal who was interviewed by the media, and I recognized her name. She's a Satanist and very pro-abortion.
Well, that's her right there? Saying,
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Oh, okay.
I was mixing up the person who was interviewed by the media with the person who was chanting, and I don't know if that's the same person.
It's interesting to see that guy saying that all these protesters, thousands of protesters, right? And it's amazing how evil people can round up evil people in the numbers and go and protest.
Yeah.
And they all think they're being saved by others. That is so interesting to me. So they're protesting. Ain't nothing going to change. Can you imagine? Why did they have an abortion clinic at a neuter clinic for the men?
A neuter clinic.
Yeah.
That's a nicer word for it.
What does that have to do? Why they got to have that at a rally? Suppose something go wrong. Don't you need a doctor?
Maybe they have doctors there in the trailer.
But what do you need an abortion for at a rally? Why?
Maybe the bus takes you to the abortion clinic and to the neuter clinic.
Oh, you don't walk into the clinic?
They don't do it on the bus?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Look like they're going on that bus and doing it. It look like, I don't know.
Crazy.
Just think about that. You know that has to be evil. They told these stupid women, take your bus to the clinic. Take your bus to the Democratic National Event and do some abortion. We want to kill as many babies as possible. And make sure you neuter all the men so they can never make another baby.
That's a mess. I saw a few ladies dressed up as abortion pills marching down the street.
Ooh, don't marry that one. She's going to kill every one of your baby.
Yeah. Horrific.
And oh man. Here's a photo of Chicago businesses boarding up their property there in Chicago.
Oh, pictures?
Yeah.
Look at that. Smart people. Smart business owners.
But it's sad. They have to board up. Now they're going to lose money and everything.
Yeah.
People can't go to work. All for their mess. 888-7753-773. There is a line open there now. Before I go back to the phones, I want to, I mentioned to Hake and I talked about in Chicago. Just imagine the socialists are having their Democratic National Convention in a socialist city. I wonder how they feel about that. What the hell? They are having a convention of socialists, and they are pushing socialism. And look, I wonder if when they're driving down the street from the airport or on their way to the convention building, are they seeing what socialism has done to Chicago? Chicago is a perfect example of what socialism has done and can do to a town and to a people. But I mentioned that DNC abortion and vasectomy truck is there in where? In Chicago. And this is from Fox. Planned Parenthood, of course. Planned Parenthood announced in an X post that a bus is headed to D.C. A bus is headed to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago on August 19th through 20 to offer free vasectomies. Isn't that amazing? You want to be neutered? Come on over to Chicago. We'll do it free. Vasectomies, medication, abortions, and emergency contraception without an appointment. You don't even need an appointment. Just walk on in, and we'll new you up. to make sure you don't make no more babies. And you don't know that that's evil? These are some evil, cold-hearted Satan demons that's working for Planned Parenthood. They are working, just think about that. They're going to take a bus all the way over there and not even charge you for it to make sure that they destroy every soul they can possibly destroy. How would you like to be married to one of those women? And ladies, how would you like to be married to those doctors who are performing those abortions or females who are performing them? Isn't that amazing? Think about that. They're going to take a bus over there to you. Don't worry about coming to us. We'll come to you. Amazing. I want to show you the bus. Did we show the bus already? I did. Oh, that's the bus. Can we call that the death bus? Yeah. Planned Hood Healthcare Death Bus. We need white babies. Well, you better not go in that bus. Ain't no white baby going to happen in there. And last but not least, this is from Fox. Here's a segment from Fox and Friends discussing the police presence in Chicago. Watch this.
Well, let's talk about what's happening in Chicago, where Lawrence is, in terms of what's happened under the Biden-Harris administration. When it comes to crime, it's up 11%. That's in the year leading up to this year, until violent crime. Also, when you look at housing, when you look at what they're supposed to bring to the city, you see people boarding up their houses, people concerned about the protest of 100,000 plus. They're worried that there's 1,700 less cops in uniform now. They're concerned they've got 400 cops from other cities who have to come in to help out. So this is an example of a liberal city run by a liberal Democrat and the Democrats that's gone awry. This is not a great example of what we will do if we give you the keys to the country.
It's the audacity for me. How many years have I been covering the violence in Chicago? How many kids, how many parents I've sat down with to talk about their kids being murdered? How many pleas have they said we need more cops on the street to go after these criminals? And all of a sudden, when the rich, powerful, and well-connected want to host a convention, then you send the cavalry?
The police will protect them. The government will protect themselves, but not you. And you vote for them. Go figure. And you vote for them. Think about that. They'll put a fence up around the Democratic National Convention to protect themselves. They're bringing cops from everywhere to protect them, but they leave you wide open. No police, defund the police. Take away your Second Amendment. Let the criminals out of prisons and jail. Bring in the illegals. But we're going to protect ourselves. We're going to have cops around. We're going to build fences. It's not good for you, but it's good for thee. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Dumb lady. What the?